box. Out of the box. Oh, out of the box. Out of the box. Take one box.
Put it with another. I don't know the rest of the words. That's all I remember.
And that was...
I don't even know what that is. What was that?
That was the Out of the Box intro, as
box.
sung by Jaleel. I started recording, and that's the intro now.
What have you done?
Halfway through, you're singing the Out of the Box intro is now our opening.
I'm gonna get a job because of that one. Someone's gonna hire me on the spot.
Yep. Right on the spot. You might even get a job at someplace like DamnLag, maybe. Wait, been there, done that. Yes, listeners, welcome to Lagged Out, the official DamnLag video game podcast of the century. As you may have heard from the last podcast, all 14 of you, Wilbo is dead now. I blew him up. So he's gone, and to replace him is an ex-DamnLag veteran. I'm gonna call you a veteran.
It's a war. It was like a war, so I guess I am a veteran. Ex-DamnLag refugee.
This is Jaleel, everybody. If you heard episode 0, number 2, and you may have heard him before. Was that 2 years ago?
It was a while back. I was a young lad, naive.
Naive in the ways of the DamnLag. Well, he's here, and so is Jared. Everybody loves Jared. And me, Genki. Yeah. So
am I getting paid for this? Like, I didn't discuss that with you beforehand, but
it's best you do this while we're recording.
I kind of sang at the beginning.
Jaleel, really,
And I
Jaleel,
usually don't do that for free, so
really, doing this now.
Okay, can't respond to that.
I'll tell you what, I will pay you in peanuts.
Aw, that's what I was gonna ask for.
Good. Oh, it works out. See, I know you too well. I know you like them peanuts. So, but they will not be the ones with the shells. Those are too expensive for me.
As long as they're roasted.
They're not going to be salted either. You have to do that yourself.
I quit.
You're gonna quit?
Yep.
I didn't tell you the best part though. They are honey roasted.
Okay, that works. That's
I
all
think.
right, I guess.
I think they are.
I need it confirmed first, and I need a firm date on like when I'm gonna get those peanuts.
You're gonna probably get them within the next 2 months. Probably. Yeah. I would say most likely in the next 2 months.
All right, I'll be looking out for them.
Definitely likely in the next 3 months or so. So yeah.
I miss Wilbo already.
I feel at home.
Good.
Now it's like the old days.
I don't know. Wilbo was there in the old days, wasn't he?
In the really old days, I remember him from all the way back.
I guess it was a while back, wasn't it? Man, this is a nostalgia cast. So yeah, what's everybody been playing?
Oh, I'm playing the Old Republic.
The Old Republic? How is it?
All the time. I love it. I don't love everyone's complaining about it. I'm sure that there's an article. I haven't read the website. There's probably an article of complaining about it. So, but I really enjoy it. Then again, I didn't play World of Warcraft, and I know everybody compares it to that. My thing is, you got like 50% of the population is really diehard Knights of the Old Republic players.
Yeah.
And they're like complaining that it's too World of Warcraft. And you have some really diehard World of Warcraft players that are like, it's too Knights of the Old Republic. And I kind of like that it's a hybrid in the middle. I like that I can play it by myself and it's still cool. And I can play with other people and it still works. But
do you think it's the WoW killer that people are starting to say that it is?
The reason I don't think so is because there's so many WoW players who are complaining about it that I think it's the kind of thing where it's like, if you like WoW, then WoW is the best at what it does.
Plus, I mean,
And
like, anytime you get into that conversation about the Halo killer, or the WoW killer, or whatever, it's never a game that's similar that
right,
becomes the new thing. Like, the Halo killer was not Killzone or anything similar to it. It was Call of Duty 4, because that was a
right.
different kind of thing. And I don't think you're going to have a game that's like WoW that beats WoW.
The most intense players I know that are on the Old Republic are WoW players. So it's like the people who are like me, who are just like screwing around and just on level 20 even after buying it on launch day and everything.
Mm.
Like we're a certain section of the population, and then there's the WoW players who are already at the end game with like 3 different characters, and they use like terminology like tune and stuff that most of the people don't understand, and it's too much crossover, like Jared said, for it to be a real killer, I think. But
Interesting. What do you think about that, Wilbo? It's fascinating. Fascinating. That was
Very interesting.
that's
glad-
good insight there.
I'm glad he weighed in.
Yes. Yes. We
he
still
gave like a little like European kind of vibe to it.
It is a very European thing to say.
Like it was
It was very Scot-Irish. Skyrish? I'm gonna say Skyrish because
Skyrim.
Skyrim. Damn it! All roads lead to Skyrim cast. What else you been playing? Anything else, Jaleel, or just Old Republic all day, every day?
Old Republic, SimCity 3000.
SimCity 3000.
That's about it.
That's-
I'm going old school.
Isn't that one old now? How
Yeah, that one's old.
many years ago? What is the latest? What was
SimCity 4, isn't it?
SimCity 4 is the latest. I got really nostalgic because somebody started talking about Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then somehow we got on the SimCity. They were like, "There's a new SimCity out," and I was like, "No, fuck it, I want to play SimCity 3000." So I downloaded SimCity. I legally downloaded SimCity 3000.
Oh, you don't
And
need
I
you don't
played
need to specify that on this podcast, honestly.
That's good. I bought SimCity 3000 on Steam, and then I played it for a long time.
I think the last SimCity I played was 2000.
It got really complicated. Like you had to start doing like social engineering and a whole bunch of like you had like it was really I didn't like doing like the water pipes. Like I could do it in the first one, but in the later ones, like you had a whole underground sewage system. I'm like, so I just like launched aliens into my cities and stuff.
Let them fix it all with their
They
lasers.
Ever
destroy
see those videos of like the super efficient SimCity cities that are all like mapped out with like fractals and stuff, and they're all in this really specific order?
No, I have not because I don't look up anything SimCity related.
People are really intense.
I'll bet, but I mean,
I like when people make the replicas of real cities, and it's like,
they run
all right,
better. You should run for mayor. Like, I built this city in SimCity, and I made it greater. So that's why I should become the mayor.
show off the plan, show off their tax code in SimCity.
Look, my SimCity denizens put out this newspaper hailing me as the greatest leader of all time. So clearly, I have what it takes.
I'm not sure what happened to like the Sims games. I thought it was gonna be like I guess the Sims happened to the Sims games, and also Spore was not that good. But like imagine if they had it just where it just kept stacking up on top of each other into like this meta super game, like from Spore to the Sims to Sim City to Sim Earth to Sim Galaxy.
Actually, I was kind of wondering why they never made a Sim City that was also The Sims. I
Yeah.
kind of expected that to happen.
Never happened. Last Sim City game was like 2004-ish, 2006. It's a while back.
And then they just kept making the same Sims game over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
Well, I mean, like, how would you even manage that?
I mean, just make it like the old Sim Cities plus the Sims. You can
Exactly. You can ignore other people completely. I mean,
yeah.
if you really want to pay attention to every single group of people, that's just going to be impossible. So you're going to have to you're gonna have to make choices in certain quadrants of your city. You're just not going to do much with them, and you might go over there later and they're just like the slums because they have no god.
Yeah.
What?
You're the god, so you're not doing anything for
Not the
them.
god, you're the
great.
mayor.
That would be
Well, I
great if you're
mean-
playing and then you're playing as like one like family, and then you look on the other side of your town and there's like a ghetto where there's like crack in the streets, and it's like, oh shit, should have been playing this side.
Yes, that would be such a cool. That would be such a cool twist on it. I would actually be interested in playing that for more than 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then I can.
Oh, they'll get right started on that then.
Well, no, I just say that because I personally have never been the biggest SimCity player. Like I had them as a kid, but I think that was probably the problem was that I was a kid and I would just mess around with it for a little while, and then when things just got really bad, I would just like, you know what? I just want to watch a tornado destroy everything and just watch it wipe away my town and then get reports that I need to cut taxes. And like, fuck you, more oil facilities.
Freaking nerve sensitive. I've never played The Sims, but from what I understand, it doesn't have a point in the game. So, like you said, if they just made Sim City and then you could like zoom in, but you could ignore it if you wanted to, I think it could work.
In like the later games, they kind of put goals into it.
In The Sims?
Yeah, like your Sims would have like dreams, like things that they want to be in their life, and you'd kind of want to move towards making that for them.
And what happens after they reach their dream? You crush it and then
I
watch
don't
them
remember.
sob in a trash can.
Yeah, that's it.
That'd be the best ending. I don't know why I'm so hateful of The Sims.
Such a weird
Like The
thing.
Sims themselves, I just like I feel like a dick every time I think about the SimCity or the Sims games. Just like I want to build up something and then just destroy it. I don't know why.
I think that's what like most people did. Every time I heard about anyone playing that game, it was always like something really sadistic. Like it was a
Yeah.
virtual dollhouse. Like I heard about people like putting their Sims in pools and then like taking the ladders away, and it's like, why? It's like some Saw death simulator.
So like
Everyone
they take
turned
away all the
into-
doors to a house and then set it on fire.
Yep.
Or they have to go to the bathroom and they remove all the toilets.
It's like, all right.
And then they end up passing out in their own urine.
Rated E for everyone.
Are they rated E? Well, I thought they were rated like
I think they're T.
I
Even
always
still.
thought they were rated T because I mean they can get naked and you can see pixels, blurred out pixels. Oh my gosh,
There are
doing
mods
it.
that take that away.
Jared.
What if they made like a Leisure Suit Larry edition of The Sims? I don't know how would that work. Would it be very
Playboy
different,
The game.
or will they just make everything at least have better graphics and not blur out as much content? I don't know.
Wasn't that like what the Playboy game was supposed to be?
Oh, you know what? You're right. That was exactly what the Playboy game was. And I didn't even care about it. I love the playthrough that they did on one of the 1-Up shows. I can't remember what it was called. And
Broken Pixels.
that's it. Wilbo loves that episode, and he showed it to me, and that was really funny. But the game itself looks really stupid. But yep, you're right. They have in fact done it before. Damn.
No original ideas.
Maybe you'll get DLC and HD remake.
An HD.
Less pixelated pixels.
Who do you think they are? Capcom? What have you been playing, Jared?
Nothing.
Nothing? What kind
My
of
life
gamer
isn't
are
just
you?
about games. I mean,
Really?
I got stuff that I do.
What a
other
noob.
than-
What the fuck are you
What a
doing working for
noob.
DamnLag and you got a life?
Nah, I'm kidding. I finished the side missions in Saints Row the Third. The
Ah.
glitches went away, so I was able to finish that.
Wilbo, what have you been playing?
Windjammers.
Again? Jeez!
This guy, he loves that game.
He loves
I
it.
kind of expected that though, because he's from Europe and a lot of people are playing that over there right now. So
Speaking of which, did you hear about the European SOPA bill that's going around? No, no, really, no, really.
isn't it? I
No
think I did
sofa?
actually. Isn't it like? Isn't it like Ireland? Oh, you got it because it's not clean.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Jaleel
like
knows.
Ireland?
It's it's Ireland's version of the SOPA bill, and it's worse than the American version because I guess it monitors data transfers and all kinds of shit, and it spans beyond just Europe. It kind of goes everywhere.
It's based out of Ireland.
I know, which is weird, but I think it's still something to be concerned about, especially since apparently there aren't many people opposing it, but I guess there's enough people in Ireland with internet,
Computers.
yeah, to fight it. Maybe I don't know though because it's a land
They're like
filled.
an Irish Wikipedia they can boycott it using.
Maybe
You guys should stop making fun of your Irish fan base.
yes.
What does Wilbo think?
Well, no, actually, we have a Scottish fan base. I don't know how good our Irish fan base is, but yep, we're kind of losing them right now. Well, yes, Wilbo, what do you think about the whole thing? Huh?
Whoa, that was very racist.
Wow, wow, dude, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. I cannot believe you just said that. Wow.
Jesus.
So yeah, what have I been playing? I started playing Skyward Sword again because I still haven't beaten that. I told my friend the other day that I hadn't finished it yet, and he was like, "What the fuck? Go finish it!" And so I was like, "All right, fine." And I started playing it again, and I got to a point where I thought maybe I was a little, just maybe 2/3 of the way through because I just did the second big task. Like there's several big tasks and adventures that you get put on throughout this game. And even though I just finished the second one, I just had a big cutscene with a ton of deposition laid out for me, and now I'm just like,
You're
wow.
describing every Zelda game ever made right now.
Did
I really
you
don't
just say deposition?
disposition.
Do you mean exposition?
No, there's. I mean exposition, yeah, but I thought there was another word for it.
There's a lot of disposition too, I guess.
A deposition's a word.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It was. I think it was the word to you. No.
How many? I mean,
No, it
a
wasn't.
deposition is something you do in court.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Retard ass starring me.
There's a deposition in Chrono Trigger.
Wow.
It's one of the games on the site recently.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura. Is that how the site works, by the way, now? The three games, and you guys just all talk about the games now? See how I'm trying to plug your site and figure it out on my own at the same time?
Yes, we take 3 games each week, and we are supposed to write articles about them.
Sometimes we do.
I like that system.
So yeah, I think I'm going to edit out my saying deposition because that was really fun.
No, you keep it in.
Damn it! It's
I'm
my
gonna mention it
podcast.
every
name of the
2 minutes
podcast.
just so that you have to.
That is the name right there.
What?
Deposition.
Depositioncast.
Deposition cast. Genki's a fucking retard deposition cast. Damn it. I heard that word used recently, and so I thought I had it right. That's what I get for listening to the internet. Wow. So yes, there was a point where they had a big exposition.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
And now I feel like, oh well, I probably have only gone through half of this game because like I had gone through every area by this point. I've spent 26 hours in the game, and I've gone through every single area. And then I get to this point where it's like, oh, wow, as soon as I step out the door, I'm probably going to have a bunch of new areas to go to replace the old ones. Wow!
Or just the same ones that you gotta do over again.
Unless it's that, yeah.
I think it's that. I heard it was that.
Maybe. I don't know, but it looks like there's still a lot more game for me to go through. So, probably still got another 20 hours left in this long-ass game. But it's very good. What else have I been playing? I finished Catherine. Haven't been playing Marvel for a long time
Marvel.
because I'm pretty pissed off and sick of it. But what else is new? It's Marvel. And yet, I rented the game from GameFly, and I had it for the longest time, and I would keep playing it, and I didn't buy it because I was like, I don't want to buy this game because I don't think it's worth the money, and I don't even think I'm gonna play it that much eventually. I only play it because I played with like Wilbo, and that's about it. But then I had a coupon to get it cheaper and also get a a wired Xbox controller for my PC, and also Marvel was on sale, so I ended up buying it. And since I bought it, I've played it maybe once. So it's like, wow, fucking hell, I was totally right. I really did not need to buy this game. And now they're saying, oh, no more DLC for Marvel. So it's like, well, this game is fucking useless now. Great.
Sorry, Genki.
Yeah. Unlike
But you have Street Fighter. Look forward to.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken is going to be awesome.
Yep.
I cannot wait. I was kind of upset when they were teasing Pac-Man and Mega Man for it, for like the Sony version only, because I play everything on Xbox. I have a PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 3, but I don't use it for my multiplayer games if I can use it on Xbox Live. Because all my friends have it on. You guys sound so interested.
Yeah.
No, we're just resigned to
Tell me
agreeing with
more.
you because that's how everyone is. Everyone is already on the Xbox, and the Xbox Live is just built better for doing those types of things.
Socializing with people in general, yeah. I don't know. Sony's gotten a little better at it, but they got a way to still have a ways to go. So, but
I mean, it's a lot of the little things that add up, like just
I just thought it was
the fact
interesting
that
because it was free.
when you get a message, you hit the guide button and it goes straight to the message. It's little things like that.
yeah, I was upset when I found out they were getting more exclusive characters, because I was like, well, that's not fair. But after seeing the characters in motion, like Pac-Man looks cool, but I was kind of hoping he would have a more goofy moveset, I guess. But he's riding a Mokujin mecha and fighting with that, so he's not really doing the fighting, and it doesn't look like his moves are really Pac-Man themed, like game themed. So I don't know. He looks fun and interesting, and so does Mega Man, box art Mega Man, which I knew it was gonna be that version when I saw the teaser stuff for it. Like, I knew they were gonna go with that, and it was funny, but I don't know. Seeing them in motion, I don't care as much anymore. But
Has there ever been an exclusive fighting game character that's been worth it?
Yes,
Link.
Link in Soul Calibur 2. That was exactly what I was gonna say.
Man. Come on, man.
Come on, man. That was
Link was the best. Link was GOAT.
he. He was goat. Wait, wouldn't that be coat instead?
No,
GOAT. GOAT is supposed to be greatest. Jared has twisted the meaning of GOAT. GOAT means greatest of all time, not game of all time.
I
But-
still like my version.
I guess goat works for that then. I loved using him in that, and I think
Yeah.
they have yet to top it. But when Sony gets all these exclusives and Microsoft gets nothing, I just kind of slightly bummed out about that. I'm still looking forward to the game and everything, but whenever I mention this to my girlfriend, because she's hardcore into Tekken, and so she's really excited for this game because she's gonna play as the Tekken characters and all that. She keeps saying that, like, I'm bitching about it and bitching and moaning about how, Mega Man and Pac-Man aren't going to be in the Microsoft version. Why should I give a fuck about these characters anyway? And it's not.
Your Twitter is very angry, Genki. Like, it's a very hateful Twitter. It's very...
It is. I just use it to bitch. I just use it to bitch. But even when I tweeted about that, I think I said one thing, like, man, I'm going to be pissed if they aren't on the 360 version. I think that's what I said. And they're not, but I see him in motion, I'm like, whatever. I still get to play as Guile, who's my fucking main. I'm so glad he's in the game. And apparently, there was a leaked roster list a while back. And I went back and looked at it because apparently this roster list was leaked back in November. And it mentioned Pac-Man in a Mokujin Mecha and the old cover art Mega Man. So I was like, oh shit, that's probably legit then. And it says that like Elena from Street Fighter 3 is gonna be in it, and Christie's gonna be in as the capoeira character on Tekken's side. But I'm kind of disappointed there because I think it should be Eddie Gordo.
Yep.
Eddie Gordo.
Oh yeah.
So that's a little disappointing, but it's still pretty cool. And I'm also I think my biggest disappointment right now with Street Fighter Cross Tekken is that I've found out that Roger is not going to be in the game because it wasn't on that roster. I love Roger.
Was Roger the kangaroo?
Yes. Alex.
Oh shit.
Alex shows up in the background of one of the like prehistoric level. He's in the background jumping around and stuff.
What about Kuma?
Of course, Kuma's in the game, but
Wasn't there like a raptor too? Was that who you were talking about?
yeah, Alex was the raptor.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the raptor, and then they replaced him with Roger. I think Alex was in 2 and 3, or maybe just 3. No, I think he was in 2, and in 3 it was Alex and Roger, and then 4 I think was just Roger Jr. I don't know.
Back when I enjoyed Tekken. Back before I knew better.
I still enjoy Tekken. My last favorite one was 5. I really enjoyed 5, and I enjoyed 4. I really enjoyed 4. People hate on it so much because, and I can understand why. Kind of like it had a really small roster, but I really like the levels. People complain that the levels, like having them be actual environments, like the mall there's actually stairs you can fight on and shit, and it just kind of makes it difficult to fight. I don't know. I don't like.
I can't wait to see their equivalent of the.
Oh,
I guess it would be Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
yep.
Like I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, they were kind of talking about that a little bit, and they said that it might be single player, or I mean, not single player, single teams instead of tag team,
No.
just singles. I don't know though. They're still kind of in early development for it, and they're probably not going to get more into it until next year.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Tekken Tag 2. I will buy the game. I will buy it if it comes with Tekken Bowling. Tekken Bowling needs to come back.
Yeah, come bring the adventure game that they tried to throw in one of the Tekkens. You know, bring that back.
Wait,
Or like the side. It was a side scroller.
Tekken Force?
Yep. They need to bring back Tekken Force.
You mean
Then I'm
the way it was back in 3, where it was a side scroll in 3?
Yep.
I think that it worked best that way because it doesn't work in 3D. I hated it in 6. That was so frustrating, and I think it was the only way to unlock the characters or something. I can't remember. And then I also didn't like that they turned Jin into a bad guy. It's just like it seemed so random and out of character. Like all of a sudden he's finally won, and then he gets in charge. He's in charge of Mishima Zaibatsu, and then I'm a bad guy now because I'm part of the Mishima clan, and that's just what happens. Yep.
Jeez, spoilers. I mean, everyone's really invested in the Tekken plot, and you just ruined it.
Tekken plot's problem is that it moves like 20 years in the future for each game.
Not really.
I still remember Law before he had his mustache. I still remember back when half the characters weren't robots, and then they turned into robots.
Wait, how many characters are robots beyond like 2? Well, like
That's a question you should never have to
once
ask.
a cyborg, and he's always been a cyborg.
The point is, everybody changed. I remember Hachi before he had like gray hair. Isn't he like bald now, or is he dead?
He's quote unquote dead.
See, there you go.
Well, black-haired Heihachi is gonna be in Tekken Tag 2, so
Why?
So
Did they
it's
go
a
back in time or something?
Prequel?
it's a tag game. Those games aren't canon. They're never canon. They're just whatever.
So Tekken is exactly the type of series that would make that canon.
I want some Virtua Fighter thrown into the mix.
Oh man, I can't wait for that to come out on Xbox Live Arcade.
Oh, it is?
They're re-releasing what was the last one? Was it 5 or 6?
5, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're gonna re-release an updated version of 5 because I guess they had an arcade update in Japan. They're gonna release that on the Live Arcade. So I'm excited for
That's
that
pretty awesome.
because I haven't played Virtua Fighter since 4 on
Yeah, me neither.
PS2.
4 was awesome though.
Yes, I loved, what was her name? I think it was Jessica. Was the tan girl with the white hair. She was like a military chick. She kicked
That was
ass.
like Vanessa.
Vanessa, was that it? Yeah,
I think it's
I
Vanessa
think you're
because I
right.
liked some Vanessa too.
I haven't played in so long, but I really liked playing as her.
It was really good at like, because I'm not huge on fighting games, but the way that the combos flow in Virtua Fighter are really intuitive as far as fighting games go. It's not a whole bunch of like the typical kind of combos. So not sure why they never. And 4 was big. I don't understand why it kind of fell off with 5. I don't. Did they ever release 5 in the
Yep.
States as like a console
They
game?
released it as Virtua Fighter 5 Online.
Hmm.
That was its title, but it just wasn't as popular, I guess. I think it came out really early in the Xbox cycle. I don't know.
And I'm kind of done with Soul Calibur, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just not feeling Soul Calibur 5.
It feels like it's not changing at all. So it's like,
What?
what's the point? The last one had lightsabers, so if you're gonna keep it as the same, then I have no reason to move forward.
It feels like it's barely trying to change because they've added supers. That's really the only change is that they've added supers. They've changed the roster up by making it jump ahead like 20 years. They're not bringing back Talum for some reason. What the fuck is up with that? And yet we get Keelik and Maxi again. Although I like Maxi, so whatever. But fucking Keelik, I hate that bitch. I hate that dude so much. I mean, I play as Maxi, so he's like he can at first he's like a Maxi player's kryptonite, but after a while when you play online, everybody does the exact same keep away moves with him. I got really good at 4 where I could just duck and jump over every single move because they would always do the horizontals and barely ever the vertical moves, and I would just get up in their face and just slap their shit with my nunchucks. But
Soul Calibur is the one game where I enjoy like pissing other players off. Like when it comes to stuff like, for the most part, I stay away from the weapons and the stuff that people all complain about. Soul Calibur, I use Raphael and I use Keelik, and I don't care what anyone
Fuck
says,
you.
and it is awesome.
fuck you, you and your Keelik.
Or Yoda.
Oh,
Piss off
fucking
everyone.
apprentice and just do force bursts all the time. I just got tired of 4 because everybody online just played Keelik, and I just got tired of seeing the exact same character. And I don't know, I really wanted them to bring back Soul Calibur 2's quest mode. That was like the best addition to the series.
4 had the crazy like super tactical thing that they tried to do. That was like too deep for its own good.
What tactical thing?
Or it might have been. No, I think it was 4. It had like the single player adventure, and it had like a whole bunch of little levels, and some you had to repeat over and over again.
No, I
Can't remember
I
how
think
it
you're
worked.
thinking that must be 3. I didn't play 3, so I think that must be 3 because 4 the only thing they have is like the tower mode. That was it.
That might be what I'm thinking of. I can't even remember. But Soul Calibur, yeah, it does need some updating besides just supers. Supers is not going to get anybody excited for it.
And I feel like Namco even realizes how weak Soul Calibur is, how weak this game is going to be, because of their ad campaign, it's all about, hey, there's titties and asses in this game. Literally, there's an ad for tits, and there's an ad
Yeah.
with an ass on it. And that's how they're advertising the game. It's like, this is not Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. What the fuck?
Maybe at this point they need to just combine Tekken and Soul Calibur into one franchise and try and figure it out. Or maybe just move all the Soul Calibur characters over to Tekken. I don't know.
No, because they all have weapons, and the weapon combat is what sets it apart from Tekken.
Yeah.
That would be very weird.
I mean, the thing that's similar about them is that, no, I guess Soul Calibur doesn't juggle too much.
It does jiggle.
No, I didn't say jiggle. I said juggle. Get your mind straight, Jared. Juggle the characters, and at least whenever I played Tekken 6, I was getting juggled like a motherfucker, and I would get bounced on the ground and juggled some more, and I was just like, "Fuck this game! This is stupid." I'm not looking forward to Soul Calibur 5. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna rent it and play it for a couple days, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna
It's been
be
the story of the last like 3 Soul Calibur games for me. Oh, for 4, I rented it, played it, enjoyed it, never bought it. 3, I bought it, enjoyed it for a little bit, wish I had rented it, and then ended up selling it, I
2
believe.
was the only really good one, and they never replicated it.
To be completely honest, yes. 2 was the only really good one, and everything else was just like, we're gonna try and get it to be like 2, and we'll come sort of close, but not really. And it was just the downhill.
The only thing I really want them to bring back is just that quest mode. If they brought that back, I would be totally cool. I would totally be cool with the game, and I would play the crap out of the game. Because that was just really fun. It gave you... It felt like you were on an adventure, and it was giving you these challenges and things, and you could buy weapons and stuff along the way. It was a straight up quest, and I guess tower mode is kind of like that because I mean you're going through a tower and you're doing missions and things, but it doesn't feel like I'm going on an adventure. It feels like I'm just doing just tedious tasks so I can get
Does
money.
it have any of like the different variables and things like can't block or
Yeah.
if you hit the wall you die, things like that?
Yeah, it has all that, but
Those are fun.
it's not presented in a way that I think makes it enjoyable. I think it's fucking boring when they literally show them all listed like a tower, and you just scroll down the list and do the next one, do the next one, do the next one until you reach the end, and it's just...
I'm just disappointed on the overall just like progress of the series. Like I don't feel like the graphics look that much different than Soul Calibur 3, which is pathetic considering how long ago that was now.
Yeah.
And it's like everything needs to... I feel like the game needs to put a heavier emphasis on actual like weapon combat, so like more parries and blocks and kind of things, but it's still it's the same game that it's been since 3, really.
You know what they should do with it? They should make it more like Bushido Blade.
Yeah, that would
Or
be
just
awesome.
make another
actually.
Bushido blade.
Well, that's Square Enix, isn't it? Square Enix isn't going to make another fighting game that isn't Dissidia Duodecade, blah, 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 blah.
That would be cool though if they made like, and I've thought about that before, like I guess kind of a Bushido Blade kind of deal where it was just like all the weapon fighters in gaming, like a kind of Super Smash Brothers kind of deal.
Yeah.
Except with the weapon people, so you get all the squares like sword guys, and you get like a whole bunch of other characters just from all like across games. I think it'd be really cool if they put like an actual emphasis on that kind of combat instead of the way Soul Calibur does it. Not that there's anything wrong with how Soul Calibur does it. It's just that we've done it for so long.
Yeah, they really need to jazz it up more.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
They still never really made like a proper motion controlled sword fighting game. Still.
no.
but you know this Star Wars game's coming out.
Oh god.
Yeah, didn't you see that super funny, hilarious commercial for it with that guy that was trying to be Jack Black but really wasn't? That was so funny. And he was in his underwear at the end, and Darth Vader, he was all like, "What is this shit?" It was funny.
I mean, it's like the first thing anyone ever thought of, and they still haven't made one.
It's because the Wii wasn't ready, to be honest. Like, we all had super huge imaginations on what the Wii remote could do, but the Wii remote actually wasn't that at all. And even
Couldn't,
now,
like,
it's like
Couldn't the PlayStation Move do that though?
yeah, but then you'd have to get a PlayStation Move.
Yeah, and it did have that in like a sword and a shield and stuff, and
Yeah, but you gotta be able to like dismember people.
Like, how good is Skyward Sword? Could you see a Star Wars game playing like Skyward Sword as far as like running around?
Skyward Sword is good, but its controls really aren't perfect. It's not. It's pretty one-to-one, but it's still, the technology is still not perfect. But a Star Wars game, what you're talking about, what people really want is they want to be the motherfucker walking around with a lightsaber and doing
Yeah.
everything. They want to be that person so badly. And Zelda, it gets you, Skyward Sword gets you into the combat a lot more with its controls, but it's just,
Still waggle.
yeah, for the most part, most of the time when I get in on a bad guy, as soon as I get through whatever like specific motion I have to make, then it becomes just wail on them until they guard again, and then I just fucking shake my wrist around and don't give a fuck what I'm doing.
Any of you ever play the game Die by the Sword?
No.
Well, it was a PC game. Like, you would move and stuff with the keyboard, and then you controlled your sword, sort of one-to-one motion with your mouse. And that came out in 1998.
What about the second Red Steel? Was that any good? I remember everybody was like, okay, never mind.
It's Red Steel. You can't expect a lot from it.
The first one was a fun rental.
No, I didn't even try it. I tried the first one and I fucking hated that. And then the second one came out and I didn't give a shit. And I read some reviews on it and they were like, yeah, no, they still don't have it. They're using a Wii Motion Plus and they still got it wrong.
The Wii's not ready.
If they're gonna make a lightsaber game, the Kinect isn't the way to do it. Because you're not holding anything. You're not holding a fucking lightsaber.
With the Kinect is use it like with a controller.
Yes. Thank you.
So make it.
That's the dream.
Make it like the PlayStation Move, because that's pretty much what the Move is.
Well, no, because the Move is limited just to that little thing you're holding.
Well, it sees you too.
Not really, no.
Yeah, it does.
Not in any way that you can control it.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm just saying it's a step behind the Kinect, of course.
Isn't that what Mass Effect is doing though? Like Mass Effect, you'll be able to call out commands, and you're still playing with the controller. So
yeah,
I mean, I could see like a Call of Duty game where you're like doing SWAT, like fingers up in the air and stuff.
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
Like that's the kind of stuff they need to go for instead of all the like Dance Central is cool, but like every game doesn't need full body motion.
Well, I mean, like, the basic problem with all Kinect games as they are right now is there's no way to do mobility. And, like, 90% of games have you moving. Like, not in place, actually running in a direction. And the Kinect can't handle that at all. If you've ever played Rise of Nightmares, which I guess you haven't if you don't have a Kinect, but I have, and in order to walk, you put your leg out in front of you and you slowly move forward and you move your shoulders in order to turn. And then in order to hit stuff, you just kind of like sissy slap in front of the Kinect.
Well, didn't you hear that the Xbox 720 is gonna introduce the Kinect 2, and I'll bet you anything Kinect 2 will come with a treadmill.
I'm kind of curious to see what their plan is for it, because now I'm hearing also that like Kinect is going to be built into laptops, and it's like, is Microsoft setting up for something really important?
Well, they're making,
or are they just going to screw it up like they do a lot of stuff when it comes to hardware?
They're making Windows 8 completely Kinect ready. Like the way you can control the entire desktop with the Kinect, like they have a different desktop layout that you can use, and it'll be with Windows 7 right now. You have to, and I think maybe Vista as well, I don't know, you have to download a driver, and after you plug in the Kinect, and then install the driver and everything, and then you can use Kinect for a few things. But with Windows 8, it's going to be, you plug in your Kinect, it works right away, and you can start doing everything with it. And
if they expand it, and also there's the technical limitation of the actual camera. Like, I don't think the camera can detect that well when you're not jumping around and dancing. But once they come out with like the better cameras, and once you get it across more mediums, I think, Jared, you'll see more of the subtle uses of Kinect, and instead of like, we're going to put Kinect on the front of the box. If it
actually is built in, that's probably what's going to happen. That'll be a big thing for actually, because at this point, if you're making a Kinect game, you kind of assume that it's for a Kinect audience.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the point when it's just like the games are using the Kinect instead of them being quote-unquote Kinect games.
Well, see, the thing is, as far as a Kinect goes, motion controls in general, for the type of games that we have, they don't do very well at that type of thing, because they're mostly about reaction, very quick reactions instead of finesse or anything like that. It works for a game like Dance Central because that is all about very specific movements using your entire body. It's not about moving anywhere. It's not about shooting anything. It's all about moving your form, which
Yeah.
is what the Kinect is very good at. But it doesn't have the fidelity or the reaction, or like it lags enough that it's not good for any type of an action game. But it would
Another
be
thing,
really good as a supportive thing for either using the voice controls in a normal game or just gestural stuff, or even just UI, because it's really
Yeah.
useful to be able to just say an option and go to it.
like, and I was thinking another thing that slows up the process of a sword or like a Star Wars lightsaber kind of game is the fact that you don't have any resistance. So if there's no resistance, it's hard to emulate. Like Genki was just saying, he like flails his wrist around when he's playing. Everybody does that because it's not like you're actually banging up against something unless they have rumble to the point where it can like give you recoil.
That's
Like, it'd be
where
hard to do
like
that.
a lightsaber game would work as long as there weren't other lightsabers to worry about,
Yeah,
because then you'd just be cutting through things.
just cheese, everything.
Cheese. You just be cutting through cheese. Is that what you
Everything is butter.
Have Metal Gear Revengeance
said?
be move enabled.
Kind of struck that it isn't actually.
I just feel like the Kinect doesn't work because it doesn't have something physical to use with it. Because that's a part of what makes games fun, is that we have something we can hold, and then when we see
There's a
things,
haptic feedback to it all.
a what?
Mm-hmm.
Haptic feedback, like the rumble, the feeling of your sticks,
Okay.
like a lot of a game feeling right. Like the difference between a Call of Duty and some other crappy shooter that doesn't feel good at all is very much about how the controls feel.
No, yeah, I just thought you said half dick,
No,
and that's I was like, what the fuck?
Haptic feedback. Oh yeah.
What do you think about that, Wilbo?
Windjammers.
whoa, that's
I wasn't expecting that.
too far.
Even being European, that kind of threw me off guard still.
Uh,
But I still have respect.
I think I lost a little.
I never had any. So yeah, Connect 2. I don't give a shit about it. I don't really care about the Xbox 720 at all. I really want to. I just want to stop hearing about it because I don't want.
Everybody's so negative about this next generation of consoles. Everybody's like, "Oh, more money to spend. I don't want
Exactly. That's exactly.
I think
I don't
that's
know
the thing.
anything
Like,
about
we're
that.
at a point where most of the people talking about this on the message boards aren't kids anymore, and they don't have anyone to pay for this stuff for them.
Ass adults who are just like, I don't fucking want the PS4. I want the PS3 forever.
I mean, these consoles are also really strong, and they could last longer. They don't really need the next gen
Yeah.
that bad. Like the PS3 is pretty fucking strong. It's just that
There is a reason for it beyond just better graphics and all of that. When you have
Yeah.
a new console, you get a chance to create new IPs and have them actually sell first out the gate,
yeah.
because you have the technology to sell them. At this point, I mean, if you're looking at, there's Call of Duty, what is it, 7 or probably more, Mortal Kombat 9?
9.
Uh,
But it's a reboot,
like-
so it's 1.
but you see
I'm
my
just shocked
point.
that they're
Like,
gonna give Nintendo
the
so
way
much
that-
time.
the industry works, since there's such a stress on having IPs that you can sell, unless you can't really sell an original idea unless it's a really small game that you can put on Xbox Arcade, or if you can bring it into a license somehow and still have that work. That's what you see with, say, Gotham Imposters, or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Gotham
'Cause
City Imposters.
The only reason that game has anything to do with Batman is because it's the only way they could sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because otherwise they would have to call it not Team Fortress 2. I got a beta for that. I might try it out, but I'm not really interested
Yeah, I
in
got
that.
it as well.
It's kind of fun, actually. It's got a neat little attitude to it.
But I mean, is the Batman thing really coming to play at all?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, they do some interesting things with it, like the little in the background. in the menus, it's the Batman theme, but it's like being whistled.
I guess that's
And
amusing.
like during the little initiation thing, they're like, "Well, Batman can, he's rich, so he doesn't have to worry about killing people, whereas we aren't, so we're going to use an AK-47." And there's this weird thing like when your health gets really low, instead of just like the raspberry jam and you got to run away, like a psychedelic filter goes over the screen, and then when you try and attack, you kind of like just slap at the air, and then there's a voiceover saying, "You're not good enough. Everyone has left you. You are going to die." And then you just have to run away. It's the weirdest thing.
All right,
Wow.
that's depressing. That's not good for a video game.
I guess I want to play that now.
Well, the big thing is it's made by the same people that made No One Lives Forever.
I do not know what that game is.
You never play that game?
No. Oh wait, I know what you're talking about actually, but I never played it. No.
There's a lot of emphasis on gadgets. Like some classes have a grappling hook, so you can just like shoot it at a part of the level and fly towards it. Or there's like the bat cloak thing. So there are little vents, and if you use the bat cloak over, you fly up. There's little trampolines. It's lots of little gadgets and nifty things. It's not just like a normal Call of Duty or whatever.
You've got at least 2 more years out of the PS4, PS3, and the 360.
Yeah,
I
but I
think.
just want more. I still feel like they just came out yesterday. I still feel that way because I feel like they haven't reached their full potential with these systems yet, like they have with other systems in the past. There was always a point before where it was like, yeah, you know what? It's not going to get better than this. They need the next thing to come out because like look at PlayStation 2 and the God of War games and Shadow of the Colossus. Those were so fucking impressive, and you're just like, there's no
Right.
way they can go any further than this.
I think it's kind of like what Jared's saying though. It's like as far as before we could really see the graphical leap when it came to games. Now I think it is more of like the technical because I feel like AI has kind of plateaued in games now. Gameplay systems have kind of plateaued in games now. It's like when you see as far as the ambition of like what a game can do, there's like a certain level that you can see where it's like, okay, this is Skyrim is about as much as they could have done. They can't really expand too much on what Skyrim is.
Yeah.
They
Like
can't really make any of the people smarter. They can't really expand the game anymore past this point. And that's
we're
where I
hitting
see
the plateau of what people can actually create. They're not really being held back by the actual systems or the CPU
Well, then
or whatever.
what are they going to gain by having a new? Oh, then that's what you were talking about. The whole IP thing comes in, right? Because then
Yeah,
Then they
I
can
don't
use
think
it as
I don't think there's a
but-
plateau of creativity though, because we still have and
not
there was a
creativity,
period.
but like just a manpower problem. Like the amount of people that and time you would need to create the assets that would look as good using the power on the newer systems.
but then that's going to just increase with new systems that come out that are even more powerful. It's going to take even longer, and it's going to be even harder for them.
That's
to
what I'm
wrap their
saying.
head around.
That has, I think, plateaued. So you're not
But
going to be
then-
seeing it in games that are just going to get bigger and bigger, or more content. What you're going to see is the content that is there will be more refined, and the AI might be more complex, and lots of other. I mean, another thing that people forget is when they create a new system, that doesn't just mean that the hardware gets updated. It means that they can make very big changes to the actual firmware on the system.
Yeah.
Which
But
means that they could completely revamp Xbox Live or any of the other things.
My thing is that the reason why I don't think that that's the case though is that we have games now that are hitting and exceeding movie budgets. Like the Old Republic is an exception because people pay month to month for it. But that was what they said 300 million that they 200
Call of
million that
Duty
they spent on that.
Call of Duty games are usually expensive too.
Everything's hitting like $100 million like kind of range, and those things have big staff. So it's kind of like what's interesting is the fact that if they do that, if they start boosting everything up to AAA budget title status, then everything is going to become more expensive. And what's the point where consumers are going to be like, okay, we don't need it that good, just tone it down a little bit? What's the point where consumers are going to say that's
another thing to
enough?
keep in mind is that the actual console makers, they're hitting saturation on the amount of people that actually own the consoles. The sales are slowing down,
Yeah.
and they do need to create a system just to have a marketplace refresh so they can keep selling things. That's what they're trying to do with like the 3DS or the
definitely
Vita.
Yes, yeah.
Wouldn't it be more profitable for them to have a universal medium?
Well, no, because then there would be one company and everyone else would not be making any money.
No, but
they can just make.
But
games.
I mean, there'd be one console, but you could just make games. You could also make your own, like, if it was not open source, I guess, but like if there's one game console and I can decide which service I have on it, like if it's Xbox Live or something else. I mean, I feel like they could make more money that way and then take out the middleman.
You just fucking.
But those would be called PCs.
Yeah, you describe PC.
Never mind.
Like, do I want to use Origin?
Then you could have a
or do I
digital
wanna
distribution service.
Well, I mean, even like even on PCs, there is competition still. There is Steam and there's Origin.
That's what I was just saying.
And well, that would require me to pay attention to you.
Yes.
But yes, what I'm saying is there will always be competition because there has to be. There will always be someone else that also wants money.
Oh yeah, because we all want money.
I feel like there's a model for it to work on consoles though, because we have Blu-ray players. It's not like every studio is trying to make their own video player because everybody shares
They make
media.
their own brand.
But there are different companies that make Blu-ray players, and they do have different features.
Right, but the companies producing the content are not the ones that are making you don't see Toshiba doesn't have a studio
for what
movies. Like I'm saying, I think that there's a way that you can make the console.
What you're talking about is like standardized requirement game systems, but like Genki said, that would just be a computer.
But that's basically what consoles are anyways. They're just closed source computers. Make it more open is what I'm saying, and I think that they could be more profitable that way. The reason why consoles are appealing to people is because they don't have to deal with the parts and everything, and they don't have to deal with the compatibility issues that come with a PC. If you have one, it doesn't even have to be like everybody agreeing. It would just have to be the big three agreeing on a console.
On live. That's the future of gaming right there.
The reason that consoles are able to have hardware that doesn't compare to a computer but still have somewhat comparable games on them is because the people making the games can become very specialized in making those games for that system. They can take advantage because they know exactly what the specs are of a PS3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking that with the future, especially if everything is moving at the pace that it is and always has, games are going to become too expensive for people to have multi-consoles.
Microsoft and Sony, they're not known for making games. They make hardware. So if this happened, Microsoft and Sony wouldn't be...
They do make games.
They make plenty of games.
Well, I mean, they own companies that make their game.
Exactly.
But I think Sony...
They don't make most of their sales off of the actual consoles. Like, let's be real, they make their money off of Xbox Live.
They eventually make money off of the consoles.
Yeah, it depends on who's making the console.
I don't think it's enough that, like, can you imagine if there was just one console, how many more games would be bought? If there was one console and all the companies just released for one standardized format.
Also, that is a problem in of itself, having a standardized format. If there was a standardized format, then we wouldn't have anything like the Wii, because it would just be like an Xbox, most likely.
Yeah, but unless we all agreed on, I mean, you can still do peripherals.
We have a United Nations of video game companies. All is good to get like, all right, we need to iron this shit out. No one is leaving this table until we figure out who's going to make the console.
I'm trying to help the nation right now come to a standardized, universal video game.
I don't think that people would buy more games if they only had one console. Because, I mean, I have all the consoles, and a lot of games that I want to get on Xbox are also on PlayStation 3. So, I mean, I can get it for either, and yet I usually just don't want to get it for either because I don't have the fucking money to buy it at all.
There's also games that sell solely because they are an exclusive. Like, there are games that sell
Name them.
because Killzone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to play a Mario game, I better have a Nintendo console. So, but
Well, I mean, Mario games are good. People don't buy Mario games just because they have no other choices. They buy a Nintendo system to play Mario.
well, that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is there are games that sell because they're the PlayStation 3 version of a game you want on Xbox 360 and vice versa.
I just feel like this is going to become a problem. That
It already
there
is a
does
problem.
need to be a United Nations kind of conference, because it's going to become a problem when it comes to next, especially if we are all poor still. Like, there's still a recession by the time
Yeah.
like the Wii U comes out and everything. Like, I don't see people
Oh.
plunking down for more than one console. I mean, there will be people who will still, but
I
for the most part,
I guarantee the Wii U is going to be the 3DS's launch all over again. I don't care if they've got some fancy Nintendo network that's kind of
That's
like
just
Xbox.
how launches are. I mean, there's
No.
since like the Super Nintendo, there
No.
hasn't been a really great launch.
that's true, dude. Like the 3DS launch, I think they said is on pace faster than the DS's. So it's kind of like, and we also have a different perception of things now, just because of the different times we look back on the older things with nostalgia. But it's kind of like, I think, I don't know. And another thing is that I'm saying this, but next generation could roll around and it could be all talk. Like, we complain about a lot of stuff, but gamers have been complaining about Xbox Live for years, and the prices went up, and people still pay for Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe people will just fork out the money when it comes to time. Who knows?
No, if they bump up Live again, I heard a rumor that Xbox Live is going to be $15 a month on the 720. I was like, if that shit really happens, I'm fucking done.
They better give me something to pay for.
It's like that, and then there was the rumor going around of like, oh yeah, they're gonna figure out a way to make it so that you can't play used games on the system. Like, that's the worst idea ever.
How would that even work?
Oh, I mean, it could probably work similar to the way it does on a PC, where it comes with like, a registration code.
Even PC games let you register a few different systems.
Yeah, well then the thing is that they would take that registration code system and just make it so that it works once and never again.
That's the one thing I don't like
That
about
would
the
be-
modern consoles, is that
That'd be so stupid. If your console just died, you'd be completely screwed.
Exactly. The stuff like that I mean,
that's the way it is anyways. I mean, when you're trying to transfer stuff, you have to transfer licenses, and you have to upload your saves to the cloud, and you can't just, it's not like memory cards and discs anymore. It's
Yeah, I mean, like, we're moving away from that sort of thing, like with Steam and cloud saving and all of that.
yeah. I don't know. If I just know that if they did that, they would be shooting themselves in the foot. Not just because of things like, oh, if my console dies, then my games are gone.
If they did do it, what they would probably do is tie it to an actual, like, a universal,
Like a license, or a
username.
username. Yeah.
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 like Steam does.
But I mean, here's the other thing though, is that if they do that, then of course the used games industry is going to die, and that means there are going to be fewer and fewer games sold for any system, because used games and rentals are part of what boosts sales for video games. It's like someone plays a game used, they get a game used and they enjoy it, they may be more inclined to buy the sequel brand new when it comes out because they enjoy
that's
the last
true,
one.
but it's also killed games. Like, I know Mirror's Edge will probably never get another Mirror's Edge because of
No,
used
they
game
said they are
sales.
making another Mirror's
Yep.
Edge, despite all. Luckily, they are.
damn.
But yeah, that's exactly, that's a perfect point. Like, Mirror's Edge is not a long game. It's a very unique game that you can beat in a rental, and that means that anyone that's going to be interested in it isn't going to just buy it. They're going to rent it, and then they're going to beat it, and they're not going to buy it.
Well, them's the breaks. I guess they shouldn't have made the game so fucking short.
Well, what they should do is just lower the prices.
You know what? That is exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, there's a problem that every game released has to have the same $60, and I guess some of them are doing $40 for like remakes now.
Remakes,
But,
and also some of the other developers are just like making their games, brand new
Yeah.
games, lower.
All
The thing
games
is, though, they
shouldn't
have
be
to do
60
it
bucks.
like all together, because if one company lowers their price, then that comes off as a budget title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look
2K.
like they're gonna go that way out because like Resident Evil Revelations on 3DS, it's gonna be $50. It's gonna be a $50 handheld game. All the PlayStation Vita games are gonna be like $50 to $60, with a few budget priced at 30 or 40. But the standard for handheld games is going up and up, and I guess a part of the reason for that is because the handheld consoles are stronger and they can do more with them, and so their titles can look better and have a lot more content or depth to them, and that means higher development costs, which means they need to raise the price of the game if they want to get their money back. But it's a fucking handheld game.
More.
They
Everything's
and
more now.
I just cannot, as much as I enjoyed the demo for that game, I cannot spend $50 or justify to myself spending $50 on a handheld game. I have only once bought a game for $60 on my consoles, so there's no fucking way I'm gonna spend $50 on a handheld game.
It's kind of weird how games actually how quickly their prices drop, though. Because if you think about it, Chrono Trigger comes out at 80 when it was first come out because it was on cartridges.
80?
It was expensive when it came out.
Cartridges were like $70, I think.
Oh wait,
So
I thought they were
Canada, it'd be
60.
around 80.
I thought they were $60. Like I remember N64
That's the weird
games.
thing. Cartridges had different prices depending on the game.
Fucking hell! I just remember 64 games being $60.
I really like that model though, because there's games where, like you said, the Mirror's Edge type of games that are 6 hours long, if that, and you beat it and it's done.
Yeah,
And I would pay
$20.
I would pay $80 for a game that's bigger.
Oh, please don't say that.
Like a Skyrim.
Because everybody's gonna do that. That's the thing. People say, "Oh, well, this is okay. I'll buy this."
I'm cool with that though. It'll balance out if the other games are lower priced. If there's a game that's $40 because it's shorter, and then there's a game that's $80 because it's a long epic, I'm okay with that.
I am not. I am not okay with
If
$80
they have-
for a fucking game. That's the price. I could get a fucking used handheld for that price right now. My choice. I could get a PSP for $10 more used.
When you think about it, because you can buy one game that will last you a long time and pay, I don't know if it'd actually be 80, but a higher price, or you could buy a lot of $20 games that are about 8 hours, and then that would even out. Depending
exactly
on you would both get the same amount of
See,
relative
if they're 8
content.
hours, then I'm not going to spend $20 on them unless I really want to support that game. I'm just going to fucking rent it.
Like me, I'm going to get Final Fantasy 13-2 when it comes out. I want to get SSX next month, and I want to get what's it called? Mass Effect 3 right after that. That's $120 that I'm spending in 3 months either way. But if they could adjust the price, and if they were different, if Mass Effect was really long, I would be cool with paying $80 for that one, and then I'd be cool with paying $30 or whatever they want to charge for SSX. If it equals about the same amount that I'd be paying anyways,
then why would
I'm cool.
No, that's terrible though. Oh, okay. It all equals the same amount, but the distribution of money is different. What about all the people that just want to play Mass Effect that don't want to spend $80 fucking on that game? That is absurd.
But it would make it
But
so.
see, that's the thing.
Make
as
it so
far
Mass
as a
Effect would be
business
really long,
goes, it rewards people that buy a lot of games. I mean, it rewards the companies for allowing
making
people
a long game.
Exactly. For the people that buy one game a year, they will make more money on them, make less money per game on people that buy a lot of different games.
Right.
But they will make more money.
Save on Mass Effect, the people who would save on Mass Effect, if that's the only thing that they want to get for the whole year, you get a really super long Mass Effect game. They can put all their resources into it because they're going to charge you an arm and a leg, but you get to have a game that's going to be really epic and it's going to last you for a long time. I would like that model over this. We're going to make every game $60. Doesn't matter if it's 6 hours or 60 hours long, and it discourages people from the developers from making really long games because it's let's just make something that's kind of short so we can bust it out quick and we can charge the same for it anyway.
But then the quality might not be as good, and then it won't be as fun because it's just shat this out in 5 minutes.
Well, then
Well,
people
think about
wouldn't buy
this
it then.
Like, there are already problems with the model we have and how they influence games. Like the fact that every game, regardless of whether it needs it, has multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah.
That is part of the it has to be worth $60 mandate. Also, if you have this differential pricing, the games that do cost a lot and last a long time, they will go used, and you can buy them used. But because they do last a long time, they won't you won't be able to buy it used the next day.
Right.
And it'll also
See,
put
that's clever. I didn't even think about that.
and it will
The really
also
expensive games will eventually get to the used market, and it
yeah,
won't
and
hurt the developer because the people who were really passionate about it are the ones who are gonna like the people who buy it used are probably weren't gonna buy it anyways at that crazy price. So
But see, that's the thing though. Even you could admit that that is a crazy price for a video game, and I don't think we live in
it's
a
not
day
a
and
crazy
age.
price if it's really long though.
I
yeah,
don't
like
think
for
that
Skyrim, I
matters.
would pay that for Skyrim if every other game was less.
If you say like,
Exactly.
oh, it's a really long game, it's like, oh, Tetris, this game lasts forever. Well, $80.
That
I mean,
you can't
as
make
far
it
as the
that
content
arbitrary. You
goes,
have to
yeah.
the actual publishers will have to figure out the pricing based on the different things, and if the pricing is wrong, then their game just won't sell.
And we're saying you're saying it's ridiculous, but it's like people are paying $80, $100 for special collector's editions with guides and little statues. I'm sure that they would pay $80 and $100 for a game that's like, okay, we can basically almost double the size of the game if we can add on to the price. And
Like Kane and Lynch is like 4 hours long, and it's a full price game.
it's ridiculous. It should be $30.
I I just if it really got to the point in the future where games became like $80 and or consoles started developing ways to prevent used copies from running and all that kind of shit, I would probably just give up on video games. I wouldn't. Because there's no way.
Games are already $80.
I think if you actually saw it happen and you actually experienced it, you wouldn't think that.
Oh no, I would. Because if it was gonna happen, it's probably gonna happen in the next few years.
The nuh-uh defense.
I'm just saying right now though. I'm declaring right now. I am not gonna tolerate that shit, and I don't think anyone should tolerate that shit.
Why are you tolerating how it is now?
I don't buy $60 games. I just said I've only bought.
I
If
would
you
rather
don't
pay
buy
$80
$60
for
games-
one really long game than pay $120 for two mm,
I mean, think about it,
short to medium.
perspective.
Don't buy.
Your solution to the business is to opt out of the business and go into a different one, which is the used game market.
Yep.
That doesn't work as a business.
I either get my games used, rent them, or I get some kind of discount. I find some kind of discount, like a coupon,
The reason why I
or
think
it's
it's
a price drop or sale, and I can get it.
But think about it like this way, Genki. Okay, you are a loyal customer. You're a customer that buys a lot of games. You give less money to the companies than the people that buy less games but do it new. How does that make sense?
No, I'm saving money.
The thing though is that I think the reason why the system we're thinking about works is because Genki, you are obviously a market that doesn't want to pay high price. So there would be a developer out there who recognizes that and be like, okay, we're gonna go back to the sweet spot. We're gonna make all $40 games. And then of course there's gonna be some people who really like this developer, and there's gonna be markets, I think, for every type of gamer. Somebody who does, I think that there is a market for people who would be willing to pay $80 for a really long Skyrim sized game. And I think there is also a market that would say fuck that, and a developer could work towards that. A developer could work on an even smaller scale like they do now when it comes to mobile games. I think if you differentiate the price, you can have a wider scope of games, and I think it would help things a lot more.
I mean, honestly,
Personal.
if this actually happened, it probably wouldn't be that games got more expensive. Because when you actually do this sort of thing, you have less to worry about in the used market. Thus, the actual price that you have to charge a game for would lessen. So you probably wouldn't have Skyrim at $60, or I mean $80. You would have Skyrim at $60. All the other games probably at like $15.
Video game free market. Do it, Obama.
This concept that you guys are coming up with, it is just not gonna work if they actually tried it. It's not gonna fucking
Well,
work.
basically, the thing is, something is going to have to change eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it's not this idea, it's got to be something else. Because
It'll
the
be
way that it
this.
works now, games are just going to keep getting more expensive, and they're going to keep charging us more.
Then they're gonna have to just tone it back. We're just gonna have to face it at some point that we're not gonna get to play games that look like in-game graphics as good as a Pixar movie. As awesome as that would be, maybe we'll just have to accept the fact that we're going to have to deal with whatever we've got now, which I think is great. I think what we've got now is fine. And I don't know, I don't need any more realism from the way my games look. I prefer they just make it look good and make it look interesting. It doesn't necessarily have to be realistic. I think that it would be cool if they went with some stylistic vision for the
It
game.
can't stay the way it is now though, because next generation is probably gonna be like $70 a game.
The next generation has to happen.
If it,
The way that the business is set up, it has to happen. There has to be one.
if I cannot get those games used when it happens, then I'm fucking opting out. I'm gonna be a PC gamer and play my games, get my games much cheaper, because when digital games usually end up being a lot cheaper just because they don't have to spend money on printing discs and
It's not really about that. It's because when you make it digital, you cut out the used market.
You can also charge whatever you want to in the digital market.
And unlike games where if you lower the price, they just sit on the shelf and nobody notices and they think they're not as good. When you lower price on Steam, it goes on the front of Steam.
yeah.
I think it could work. I believe in this idea. I'm gonna submit it to Congress.
Well, I'm just gonna, to end this conversation, I'm just gonna say you two are some crazy motherfuckers that are obviously rolling in money. It's like, yeah, $80 games.
There's
sure,
like,
why
what?
not? I'm spending $130 next month on some video games. Sounds like a fantastic idea. Hold on, let me smoke these $5 billion cigars.
But
Fucking ridiculous, isn't it, Wilbo?
see,
exactly.
he's with us.
No, he was with me.
No, I very clearly agreed with us.
No, he was definitely
What you-
agreeing with me on that.
Explain to. Yeah, you agreed with us.
No. That you clearly don't understand Wilbanese.
Who does?
I do, and he said he was on my side. So y'all come some crazy motherfuckers. So this is the crazy motherfucker cast. I don't know. We need a name. Jared, help us. This is you're the guest. You help us come up with a name. What was it going to be?
I'm not the guest. I mean, I'm the guest.
There you are.
You said my name was Jared.
Oh,
I'm not.
Jaleel.
Name of the cast.
Jaleel, you are the guest.
Call the Jaleel
Well,
cast.
okay, sorry. You spoiled my plan. I was going to kick Jared off. Just make him the really long guest that suddenly vanished. But I guess I can't do that now. Jaleel, the guest.
Sorry.
Confusion cast.
Jaleel, the guest cast.
Cast.
The guest. Cast.
Cast.
The guest cast. I don't know. We need something that's going to pull in the viewers.
The $5 billion cigar cast.
No. I don't know. Does that scream video games to you, though? We need to draw in them viewers, damn it.
We need to scream video games more.
The Portal cast. Portal Steam sale Minecraft cast.
Video games should be $80 podcast.
That'll work.
Yeah, you know what? I think that probably will
There
work.
you go.
We'll call it the video game should be $80 deposition cast.
Seriously though, it's not. There are a few games that are like Skyrim that come out a month or a year like you're not going to be paying $80 for 17 games a year. It's going to be like maybe 3 at the most.
And they're gonna be some big ass games.
Yeah.
They're gonna be some epics.
And if they're not, then they're not going to sell.
Well, you know what? if Skyrim, if future Elder Scroll games end up going this route and like, oh yeah, $80 for Elder Scrolls, I guess I won't really give a fuck because I don't even play those games anyway.
I mean, the problem
I don't give a shit about those games. I'm fine with my
price,
Catherine.
but not all the games are the same in value.
Then I guess I would just get cheap games.
You'd be dead, dude.
Yeah. They'd love that if they were selling cheap games and you actually paid for the cheap games and
But I mean,
went
what
to
would
them, they wouldn't mind.
if you go with this pay scale? How much is a game like Street Fighter going to cost? They make a fighting game where
have to
it's
decide that.
all about the replayability.
That's what to figure out.
But I mean, this is your system that you're coming up with. Like, oh yeah, it's a big game.
The
play
market
a lot.
decides. This is some free market libertarian stuff, right?
Well, you know what? You've been coming up with the prices for a few of them so far, so I'm asking you guys right now, how much would you make me pay for fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 4?
I would charge $40 and I would charge DLC for a whole bunch of characters like they're doing now.
Yeah, that would probably be what it was, or maybe $20.
Because Virtua Fighter 4 sold a lot, I remember. So I think
Maybe
$40 is
charge
the sweet spot.
$20 and $40 and have $20 for. Hey, I guess Capcom's like a pioneer in that.
Capcom as pioneer. They're gonna lead the United Nations discussion on this.
We all wanted more money. This is how we got to do it.
We've been making HD remakes for years.
They went from Japanese to Scottish.
I know it did, didn't it? It was right at the end. It started to sound like Scotty from Star Trek.
But yeah, I think that's the sweet spot. You charge, and you still have to be careful with that because you can't put like 3 characters and then make them pay for everything else. But you'd have like a basic cast, charge $20 to $40, and then make them pay for like. I think it'd be really cool if you paid for sets of characters. Like I pay for the whole Tekken set instead of doing the Street Fighter versus Tekken game. I pay for everybody that's in Tekken.
I just. This future scares me that you guys are coming up with right now. It really scares me. And a part of me doesn't think that it'll happen just because as technology goes along and it gets better, then other technology gets older and it gets cheaper. So that means that...
So we'll be on our Xbox 720s and you'll be on your Xbox 360 saying, it's good enough for me.
No, I'm saying that the Xbox 720 comes out. Maybe they won't raise the price on their games because...
They just won't.
They don't need to.
They won't increase the budgets. They won't look any better.
Well, I mean, they'll increase the budgets and it'll look better, but then it'll get to the point where they won't need to increase the budget as much because it's all easier to do. It's all cheaper to do.
Well, that still requires a price jump until that happens, because you're still saying that there will be a jump in budget from here to the next generation.
But the thing is, the world of technology moves very quickly.
Thank you. We didn't know that.
Fuck you! Obviously you know that. I'm just saying that it moves very quickly, and since it moves quickly, something that was brand new this year will be completely outdated by something else that's even more powerful.
Right.
So it's like within a couple of years, and then people are already taking hits for the games right now. So you know what? They can take a few more hits.
Well, no, they're not. There are that's the whole problem is all of these companies can't support themselves, so they're getting eaten up by EA and Activision, and then EA and Activision make them pump out sequels, which makes the games worse.
That's true.
I think at the very least it would improve the quality of games.
I guess the world of video games is dying, and and we're witnessing it now. Because I can guarantee you, the majority of the population is not gonna fucking spend $80 on a video game.
No, but if the game that they're wanting to play would be $60, but now it's $20, they would definitely pay for that. See, right now, no one is paying for the $60. Unless
You'll be paying the same price anyways, is what I'm saying. If they do it right, you'd be paying the same price.
But what if a game comes out that I really want to play that ends up being $80?
Well, it'll balance out when there's another one that is
money you saved on the other games that were less.
Right. And then the 81 will be awesomer because of that.
Because every person that pays that $8 would be
Jared, let's start a game company. Me and you.
This is a terrible idea. I like it.
Y'all some crazy motherfuckers.